What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? And this is Electro Jet, and we're talking about what if. And I forgot to mute the mic there. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, I'm trying to keep this as normal and as planned as possible. I'm trying not to miss any weeks, and we'll be doing this also for Hawkeye, which is why I have his picture up there right now. But I do want to sit down here. My wife will join us in just a few minutes. Right now, she's having dinner. I just finished taking a couple of bites out of my dinner, and I'm done because I really haven't had an appetite since I got out of the hospital. But today's subject is what if? Episode 9. What if the Watcher broke his oath? So, if you guys didn't know this, I am going to have, first of all, it's always an open chat, but I'm also going to have an open um, invite to come on and to StreamYard and be on here and discuss it with us. The only rule is no nudity and try not to be rude. My wife is going to be with us, so just act accordingly. Anyway, I'm going to share this stream with Facebook and Twitter to see if I can get enough people to come in. But I really, really am anxious to talk about or this morning show. My wife and I watched it at 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's see, put this on for everyone. And now let me throw that up on Twitter. Let's tweet. Here we go. And she's Ledun. So now that I got that done and over with, I want to say that as far as for me, last night's episode was good closure. Now, I don't think it was the best episode. I did think it was a good. I think it was a good cap to the season, for sure. I think that there was a few things there. There was a few unanswered questions, in my opinion. It was they left some things open ended, which is okay, I guess. But my issues that I have is the Infinity Stones and the universe that they originally come from. How is Ultron so powerful in different universes with, excuse me, damn. How is Ultron so powerful in different universes with a specific set of Infinity Stones? They did cap a couple of questions, though. They nipped the problem in the bud when they tried to destroy them. By the way, this is going to be spoiler filled. So please understand that this is going to be spoiler filled. And I need you to understand that. If anyone is in chat and wants to join, just say something and I'll throw the link to the StreamYard and you're more than welcome to come up. Anyone at all? Hello? Anyone there? Let me throw the invite on. Here we go. I got to put this up on Instagram too. Almost forgot about that. I am so not good at multitasking. All right, here we go. Now that it's in there. So, man, I really don't want to sit here and just talk to myself. Brian, there he is. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, Brian? Uh, I know you said you didn't get a chance to watch it, and my wife is actually going to join us, Brian. My wife said she'll join us after she is done eating, which I'm looking forward to that because this way you guys get to meet Katie and my significant other. What's up, guys? Here I am. But excuse the mess. We are, I know it's looked like this for a while though. We are going to be moving out of this beautiful apartment. It is a beautiful apartment, but we have to move someplace a little smaller because we no longer have our roommate. So there's no reason for a 3 bedroom. So we're moving into a smaller place, a 2 bedroom. Still, we will still have an office, but I don't think the office room will be as big as this one. So we'll see about uh, how limited our room space will be. But anyway, I do want to say that I'm looking forward to discussing this. I'm not going to get deep into the show. I'll sit here and I'll just talk random stuff with you. I mean, fuck, I've been talking about nothing but boxing for the past few days. And let me tell you, I have been in some people's rooms. Like, it is crazy the amount of hype for the Fury Wilder fight that's going on, and I don't think that that fight deserves so much hype because I think the fight between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk was a bigger, better fight, better than this fight's going to be. But you never know. This fight might be something good. That being said, that's what I've been talking about. So this doing today's stream is going to be uh, a nice change of pace. So, like I said, once we get a few people in here, once we get a few people in here, I am going to throw the. Actually, let me throw the link up there just for Brian, because I gotta have my partner in crime up here. There you go. Control V. There you go, Brian. My partner in crime is right there. He should be showing up sometime soon when he's ready. But I am gonna say, I was thoroughly satisfied with last night's episode of What If. Well, it was definitely. Here we go. Brian, how you doing, my brother?
Yo, what up, Electro Jet?
This is like, if you guys don't know, Brian and I are part of. Brian and I basically talk all fucking day. If it's not about boxing, it's about wrestling. If it's not about wrestling, then he spares some time to come over here and bless us with his presence. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah, that is what it is. Uh, you know me, I'm in boxing chats all the time, right?
I am starting to make. I don't know if you've noticed, Brian. I am
Yeah,
making the
you're making the
rounds.
round. Yeah, you're
I am
making the
making
round.
like I have been to Mad Chat. I like Mad Chat a lot. You
Yeah,
know that I'm regularly in Unrivaled Boxing, and I
yeah.
just now started going into H Money. I like H Money's. Uh, he get a lot of people in there, but god damn,
It's crazy in
they,
there.
huh?
Crazy. I stopped going to the. I like going to the channels where where there's not as much audience. You know what I mean? Like,
Right? No, I get you.
you get 6 or 7 people on the panel. And these are people I talk to all the time. You can have a laugh with. People pop up on the panel, people pop down. No, yeah, it's good. It's good when it's like that. There, when you got a few people and you see comments from people, you see all the time. You go, "How you doing?" or whatever. Somebody brings a good point, and you know what I mean? Like,
Man, I tell you what, man, and it's not that I don't consider it rude. I consider it taking control of your room. I forgot the guy's name. Remember when the whole thing with the kid and everything that you know what I'm talking about, right? Well,
but
what's the name of that
yeah,
channel? Because I can never get back on there because I never see him on where he did that like week-long cast.
yeah, D.
Yeah, what's the name of the channel? Because I want to make sure that he gets love too.
Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Speak
Yeah,
Your Mind Sports
speak your
Talk.
mind sports talk. I hung out in there
Yeah,
for a long time. I would go in there.
yeah,
They let me in there. I definitely want them to know that I keep thinking of them too. My thing is like I really like H Money's cast. He gets a lot of people in there. I was in there. I think there were like, I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but I think there was like 10 people on there. And my issue is I don't. I think H Money needs to control it and shut people down. Just like you can mute people when they just get out of hand.
Well, him with like free smoke, I don't think he cares. He knows, right, controversy. He knows, right, he gets controversy. He gets two different opinions. He'll let guys go at it, right, because he knows these two are arguing, right? These guys text each other, come on up to Hitch Money's channel, and he gets more people. He gets more views that way. So he knows. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, so he
Right?
likes it that way. So, okay, so that's the way he likes it. Then that's
Yeah.
okay. I thought that he just
Yeah.
because for me, if I had a bunch of you guys on there and we're talking about boxing or wrestling or whatever, and
Yeah.
I would lose my shit. Honestly, I would lose my shit if people were yelling. I want everyone's side to be heard,
Yeah. I get you.
and I would mute people, and I would mute people, or I would tell people mute your mic so they can get their voices heard.
Yeah. Well, Hitch Money's more like free smoke.
Yeah, I guess so. I like his channel though. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I like his channel. I'll sit there for like I sat there once for an hour just listening to these guys go off on each other. But
Yeah.
then I'll go over to Mark's channel. That's Unrivaled Boxing. Right?
Boxing talk. Yeah. Talking news. Yeah.
Unrivaled Boxing Talk. And I'll go over there. Mark keeps fucking. He has a tight handle on his fucking.
yeah.
First of
Oh,
all,
yeah.
he gets mad if you go off subject. That's a bad move. Don't go off subject. Number one.
Yeah. He'll have a laugh with you too. He's not, Mark's the type of guy, you call him an asshole and a cunt and you go, I agree with you. You know what I mean? And then he'll come back and you did twice as hard,
Mark is I believe Mark is a down to earth character. That he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
down to earth person. That
I spoke
if
to him.
somebody gives him criticism, he's going to take the criticism. But if you're going to open yourself up like that and criticize somebody, be ready to receive similar criticism.
Here, somewhere, Mark goes on, right? Right? Mark, you bring up a subject to Mark, especially on boxing, right?
Mhm.
He knows the ins and outs of everything of that boxer, right? Just say this boxer is better than this guy. He will give you 40 reasons, 50 reasons why that guy's better than this. You know what I mean? Like,
I have a question to ask you about that. We're talking about a person that is so knowledgeable that he can pull the information out of his head. He's not saying, I don't hear any keyboard typing, anything. He pulls information out of his head. I'd like to ask you, and this is a serious question, Brian. Why isn't he doing this shit professionally? Why isn't he in the game somehow professionally? That is a gold mine of information.
Yeah.
He just absorbs it and retains it. Why isn't he doing this professionally?
He should be, right? Could you imagine, right? Just say he was on the Sky Sports team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny Nelson says something stupid, right? Which Johnny Nelson says a lot of stupid fucking things.
Come on.
Like that guy, you know what I mean? Could you imagine Mark going off at him every 10 minutes? That's what it'd be like.
Yeah,
right?
But that's what we need because Mark will be honest.
Yeah, no, Mark.
Too many people out there. We need more people like that, especially in sports.
Absolutely, I agree, 100%.
More people like that. That's going. Hey, Kal-El, how you doing, brother?
Kal-El, what's up, Kal-El?
Get up here, man. You're more than welcome. I'll throw the link. I'm not forcing you or anything like that, but definitely, if you want to get up here, you're more than welcome, my brother.
Yeah, absolutely, Kal-El, right? You see, yeah, absolutely, right? Mark could do this, and I think if he was given the opportunity, I think he would do it. I think
if us as his online friends and people and part of the community, I think whoever has a way to get him a connection with someone, they should do it. Because if I had a connection for him to at least get into one of these boxing forums where it's actually a professional program where he can get on there, say what he's got to say, get off, and he can do his own research and then talk all this stuff he wants to talk. Let more people know this. Now, if somebody out there has a connection, I think they should share it with Mark and let Mark have that opportunity.
100% agree, right?
D-Dubs, how you doing, brother? How you been up here, man?
Yo, D-Dubs, how you doing, man? Yeah, I 100% agree with you, right? Mark is genuine. Like, when it comes to boxing, when it comes to talking boxing, I talk to Mark a lot behind the scenes. And he's the exact same on camera as he is, as he is behind the scenes when all this bullshit is done. He's the exact same person, right? I've never seen him go near a keyboard saying, I need to check that up, right? If he doesn't know, he'll tell you, I don't know. I'll get back to you, right? That doesn't happen often. But when it does, like, he's honest with it. He goes, I'm not too sure about that. I'll let you know, right? But in general, this guy is a knowledge, right? This guy.
D-Dubs, thanks for stopping by, brother. I appreciate you, man. Peace.
Yeah. His knowledge is unfucking believable. All right.
It is, man. It is. And here's the thing. I like the fact that I can go back and forth with him about my era. The decades I like. And I feel like he respects the fact that I really genuinely feel like he respects the knowledge I have of my era. Now, I may not be as detailed as him, but he knows that I know what I know. And he gives people that respect. And that's one thing about a lot of other people that they don't do, is that they feel like they know it and that's it. That's not what Mark is about. Mark knows what the fuck he's talking about. Just like I feel Jedi knows what the fuck he's talking about. Jay Cotto and I, we all have similar knowledge when it comes to like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s and stuff like that. And the 210s. I get my knowledge from you, Ryan. I get, of recent boxing, I get my knowledge from you. I get it from Mark. I get it from people like 150, from Mad Chad, because y'all have been in the game as far as most recently, and you're the younger generation.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Bruce goes. Bruce older than me. So
yeah, Bruce, here. Don't get fooled in Bruce, because Bruce is up to date with this shit as well.
Yeah, he is. Bruce is
a smart guy. He's a good guy. He was messing tonight. He was, he was on this thing, like I'm superior, but nah, right? Bruce is smart. Bruce is like the uncle in the corner, right? Like the old uncle in the corner,
right?
Right? And you look at him, you think that guy knows nothing, and then he opens his mouth, and you're like, okay, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly,
like the guy you listen to for stories, and right. I used to have an uncle, he's dead now, right? Great storyteller. One of them guys, right, when he round the corner and he'd tell you a story, you'd sit around the fireplace, right? And he can come up, tell you a story, right? Especially him and my dad. Him and my dad grew up. Right, when I say uncle, he was more like an uncle-in-law, right? But him and my dad lived next door. But my dad's sister married, him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he was more like an uncle to me than any other uncle I ever had, But he was my uncle-in-law, not my uncle. But yeah, when he told a story, especially about him and my dad, because him and my dad were best friends, especially about if you go sit around, right, and he could tell the story. I think he could spin that story any way he wants and still make it sound good or bad on my dad, depending on make him come after the hero, which I think he often did, but he's a storyteller. That's what Joe was. Joe was a storyteller, right? And Bruce is that type of way.
No, definitely Bruce got the stories to say. And listen, just so my regulars understand, we're talking about boxing, and we're talking about people that are in the box that have boxing channels of their own. And oh, by the way, Brian, just to let you know, I found out how to do or how to connect the channel with another channel. So I'm
Okay.
definitely going to connect your channel with mine. When I say connect, is I like when they come to my channel, they see that they'll see what channels that I hang out with the most, and
Yeah.
I put certain like Kodo's channels up there, my wife's, Melza, my former roommate, and stuff like that. There's other channels that I put up there, so I'm definitely letting people know that you're one of those. I hope you're okay with that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No worries.
But I want to ask Mark's permission to make sure that before I put his up there, I'm going to ask everybody their permission. But I want to wait to talk about the last night's episode of What If until my wife comes out, so she could sit here with us and she could join me.
I didn't have time to see it, so
yeah, and I'm trying not to spoil it for you too much. Dude, you're gonna be impressed. You're gonna be.
I got it set up here, so I'm gonna sit in and I'm gonna watch, and when your wife comes out, I'll be back on as soon as it's over.
All right, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great. But in the meantime, I don't mind talking. I'm not turning my channel into a boxing channel. I'll talk about boxing if I want. Don't get me wrong, it's my channel.
Yeah.
But I want people to understand that I'm not turning it. I'm not making it all of a sudden a shift to boxing. I'm keeping my channel talking about all kinds of random stuff. I talk about everything. I talk about up to date politics when it's time and I'm ready for it. I'll talk about I'll talk about comic books. I'll talk about wrestling. I will. I talk about wrestling anyway. I'll talk about movies. I love talking about movies. I love talking about video games. I love talking about World of Warcraft, stuff like that. So it's not changing. It's just I want to say, and just in case Mark and them come in, I want them to understand I hope you understand, I have such a high regard for you guys and your knowledge of boxing. I have learned so much, and now I feel confident when I go into random channels and talk. I make sure I don't talk. I don't talk shit.
Yeah.
I make sure that I feel confident now.
Yeah.
I feel I can talk on a level playing field with these other guys.
Yeah. Right.
But I like that, and I like the boxing community because you guys are first of all of you guys are crazy. Every last one of you are fucking nuts. I'm not even gonna lie, man.
Yeah.
You say I went into Age Money's stream yesterday, and I said, this is my exact words. Listen, not for nothing, but fuck Fury and fuck Wilder. This goddamn fight is so overhyped. They ain't worth it. Fucking Joshua and Usyk was the fight. You need to fucking realize. This is what I told them. They got mad. There's a couple of.
Yeah. How dare you, the Wilder fans? How dare you? How dare you talk about my king like that? Right.
Yeah.
Right. The Fury fans is Fury's the best boxer in the world.
I think, okay. All right. Fury beat. I think, in my opinion, Fury beat 2 or 3 guys that were of substance. Whereas to where Wilder has beat one.
Luis Ortiz. I wouldn't even include Luis Ortiz as someone. I include him as a good fighter, not a substance.
And yet who has Joshua beat? Yes, Joshua has lost, but then he got his title back.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
But look at the fights he's had.
Yeah.
Now let's go to Usyk, because was you that opened my head up about fucking Usyk, and that made me do my research.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy fuck. And then to be in the amateurs for 338 fights.
Yeah. He won 300.
And he only lost 5?
Yeah. Like, this guy, right, Usyk.
Oh, wait, we got Jimmy up here. Here comes Jimmy. Jimmy, so help me God, you better not step on people.
No, mate. No, you know what it is? I think you've got maybe the wrong idea of me. I'm actually a very relaxed and cool guy. It's just that H Money channel is so toxic and hostile. The platform that
I
one
find it.
like
I
eight
find it
guys are
entertaining.
calling.
I
No, I love
stopped.
H Money. Shout out to the bro. I'm talking about the panel. You know when everyone jumps online, there's about 10 guys at once
Yeah,
cussing
yeah,
you, calling you, all sorts of horrible,
yeah.
Yeah,
disgusting names.
let's not
Here,
say
I
those
can no
names
longer be a
here.
gentleman.
here, Jimmy. I stopped going to when I first got on YouTube, right? And I was figuring my way through this shit. I was figuring my way through the channels and all this here. There are certain channels I stopped going to, right? Because of the toxic nature. You can't have a discussion with certain people on certain subjects, right? So there was, I like to go sit down with someone where, I can have a point of view and they can have a point of view. We may not always agree, but
Here's my wife, my lovely
yo,
wife,
what's how
joining
you
us.
doing? We all learn to respect each other's opinion, right? In the boxing channels, yes, there's some toxic, crazy boxing channels, right? So I try to stay away from them as often as I can, you know,
Yeah.
especially when they have panels, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
So,
like we could
but
be talking about boxing,
yeah,
and for some reason they'll just start insulting British people or question my sexuality. I'm like, what's going
But
on here? I thought we were
here's
here
what
to
I
talk
do,
boxing.
Jimmy. What I do, because listen, I've been in this game for when it comes to YouTube and streaming and stuff. I met my wife. I actually met her on a site that I was an entertainer on, where I don't know if anyone remembers
Don't
it.
bring it up.
It was called Stickam. Yes, I'm bringing it up. I'm not going to bring up our story, our love story. Don't worry about it. But I met my wife there, and I used to have, no lie, I used to have 250,000 people come see my cast on Friday,
Okay.
250,000 people come see my cast on
cool.
Saturday, and I would say about maybe 150,000 on Sunday. This is the
Cool.
type of
That's cool.
following I had. Okay. This site was fucking badass. I've been doing this for a while, but Jack on. Here we go. Let me add Jack on up here. Jack on, how you doing, buddy?
Details. We want details.
No, we ain't getting no details, Jack.
Yeah, you don't want to give details.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is that I've learned a lot in this time, and if you how many times I've been called out of pocket stuff. I've been called,
Yeah.
we'll just say another word for light on your toes. I've been called because my wife is so much younger than I am, and I met her when she was 21,
Cradle
and I
robber.
was 41. So I got called. You can imagine what I got called, but I let
Cradle
that
robber.
slide by because if
A
you
rock
let it
star.
get to you, that feeds
A rock
into
star.
it,
Is that what you call it? A rock star?
So
Yeah.
if you acknowledge what they said, then that's a point on their side, quote unquote opponent. You don't let it get to you. I don't care what anyone says about me. I do care if someone comes on talking, like, let's say if someone came into the chat and started talking about Jack on or Jimmy or Brian, without just cause, then I'll have an issue and I'll address it. Don't fuck with the people, my guests,
Yeah,
and don't fuck
here,
with my chatters.
here. No
That's
need,
my
no
rule.
need, no need to defend me because I'm big enough and ugly and stupid enough. I will defend myself if need be. Mostly people are fucking trolls on, like when they do that, or they're looking for reactions. So I just stopped giving people reactions.
Actually,
So
Keep up with like
keep up with the reactions of your
Jimmy,
actual trolls.
Say again, Jack on.
Keep up with the reactions to your trolls, because the more they troll you, is the more they're obsessed with you to show that they actually like you more than they actually hate you.
they could be.
When I don't respond to them, it makes them more mad, and they keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just stopped, right. Another thing from a troll. I'm like, whatever. Just slide the thing away. Just slide the thing away from my phone. The notification, whatever. I just stopped because the more I respond to them, right, it's just wasting my freaking energy.
My big thing is like this, Brian. Like
You know?
I when I was listening to what was going on, I thought Jimmy went in on me. Was it yesterday, Jimmy, or was it the day before?
it was last night. Do you know what it was? There were
I thought
9
Jimmy
people
was
at
going
once
in on me,
screaming,
right?
didn't it?
I know you didn't, Jimmy. Don't get me wrong. Let me explain it. I thought Jimmy was going in on me because everybody was talking over everybody else, right? So I wanted to make sure and clarify. And I said, Jimmy, wait, what? You were going in, and then, but Jimmy, I guess, didn't hear what I was saying. So what he was saying to somebody else actually sounded like he was actually saying it to me. So I started getting a little frustrated about it, and I said, Jimmy, what the hell? You know,
I don't.
and then he said, no, not you, Electro, not you.
I wouldn't.
They call me OG. Why do they call me OG?
Gangsta in these YouTube streets.
I don't understand it because I'm like, it's Electro Jet, and when you say OG, I don't. I'm trying to look who's got OG on their tags and who they're talking.
OG, big story.
It just means you've been around for a while, so you could be. I mean, it doesn't even mean necessarily you're old. So you could be a part of a community for several years longer than someone else. Jed, it wasn't like you at all. I was actually attacking. I believe it was Method. But he just keeps winding me up.
It was.
I don't go for that, right? I learned very quickly what channels to pop into. Sometimes I don't even type things in the chat, just say someone's live. Sometimes I find it hilarious. So I put my phone down beside me and lay down and I listen, and I'm laughing away. These guys are just going at each other. Then about half an hour later, off the same old shit, I just turn it off.
I am going to say,
were you on the panel when they pulled a gun out of me? That I forgot his name. What it was? I think it was Emmanuel. When he pulled a gun out of me, I'm like, dude, I'm sitting in Southern England.
All about? What are you going to shoot the fucking screen?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sitting in Southern England, right? You're sitting in Texas somewhere. And like, what are we doing here? So
I find that absolutely ridiculous. Plus, you could possibly get somebody's channel taken down for that, and that's not cool.
Prime example of mental illness.
Yeah.
Like a gun at a screen, hoping you're going to shoot the person on the other side of the screen. They're messed up in the head.
Are you scared now?
Are
you scared, Jimmy? I mean, what are you going to do? Shoot your laptop or what? It's crazy.
Shoot your laptop, you pay for a fucking repair or, get a new one, right? You're costing yourself money, not me. What the fuck? I care. You got to, literally, right? You can have a gun. Literally, you could stand in front of me.
Yeah.
Have a gun at my head. Like, literally, right? I'll see if I flunk. Right? I ain't flinching because the guy's got a fucking, right? I've been attempted 3 separate times with knives. I've been lucky enough to avoid all 3.
Give me a second. Let me say hello to the beautiful Melza. This is my former roommate, a very close friend of mine, and she is. I'm very proud of her. She is now doing well on her own. She's got a great job. Melza, welcome, and I appreciate you coming here to hang out.
Absolutely, welcome. But like you can have a gun right to my head. I ain't gonna flinch. You're either gonna pull the trigger or you're not, right? You're in for a fight. I know you with me.
Yeah, for sure. But my thing with this, before we could go on, right? We're gonna start the conversation about whatever a little bit. Before we go on, though, I want to say, I don't want anyone getting confused. When I talk about H Money, I love H Money's channel. Even my wife was telling, because I was listening and everybody was yelling at each other. My wife came into the room and like, what the fuck? It's like, what is going on here? Right?
Yeah,
I love H Money. He's got a great channel. But sometimes the panel members can be.
I love listening to the shit, but but then when they do actually talk about boxing, it's good to hear different points of view. And when he has so many people on, I like it because when I was in there with them, I liked the fact that I would get people that understood where I was coming from. Some people that were in opposition to it, but still listened and understood where I was coming from as well. I like the diversity that's in that channel. Just like with Mark's channel, when he opens up his thing, the Mark comes up with facts, and it's like that. It's not, how people say, 98% and 70%, and they pulling numbers out their ass. No, Mark don't pull numbers out of his ass. That shit doesn't happen.
Mark barely talks numbers.
Yeah, no.
Right? The only time I hear numbers coming out of that man's mouth is dates. That's it.
Yeah,
This happened on that. You know,
Yeah,
that's, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that guy does not. That guy does not. That's 98% true. I never heard Mark ever use a statistical number to say that's 99% true, or that's 100% true, or that's 78% true. I've
right,
never heard that from Mark. Right?
right.
Mark, the only time I ever hear, no, that's the wrong date. It was the 5th or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Right? You know, that's the only time I ever hear numbers come out of Mark's mouth. Right. When it comes to to any type of statistic. And it's usually date. Right? So, yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Mark's one smart dude.
Let me, you know, well, I want you guys to meet a friend of mine when eventually him and I are going to do a collab together. His name is, well, I know him from World of Warcraft. His name is Smooth Medusa. Drakon and I both know him very well. And this guy right here, Drakon, that you see here in the panel with us, this is why I like my diversity, is because I know him for years. I know him since the expansion Wrath of the Lich King came out on World of Warcraft. And Drakon and I have been interacting with each other since then, and that's like 10 years now. Is that like 8 or 10 years, Jack?
About 8.
Yeah. So
You say 10, I say
we've
8.
known each other. And let me tell you, me and this motherfucker in the game have bumped heads on Discord, and when we first met, it was on what's
Ventrilo.
that? Huh?
Ventrilo.
Ventrilo. It was first, we first met on Ventrilo. And when it comes to numbers with World of Warcraft, numbers are your priority. It's all about a number crunching. World of Warcraft is nothing but a number crunching game when it comes to end game content. You gotta when you do raids, you need a specific type of gear for a specific, aura or for so much power. So we knew, we got into number crunching, and me and Drakon have bumped heads so many times. Then you throw in personality, whether it be negative or a positive personality. And this is where I learned to deal with a lot of trolls. You deal with trolls on that game. You should see what we call trade chat. Jimmy, no lie. If you ever get on World of Warcraft and you go into trade chat, you will not believe the shit talking that. Drakon, you want to describe it?
It's gotten far worse.
Yeah.
It literally now makes EverQuest look like it was chump change with their shit.
I can believe that, right? There's some communities, here, but hey, I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to pop off. I'm going to get this episode watched.
Yes,
I need to do this. I need to, because I want us to do it with the sound on and all that. There, I don't want to get your channel copyright strike or anything. So,
Go ahead. No, Brian, you go do that. My wife is here. We're gonna start talking about. What if. But I totally expect you to be back in 42 minutes.
Exactly. Right. Talk to you later, guys.
Just so you know, there is an end credit scene. Don't miss it.
What?
There is an end credit scene, so don't miss it.
Okay, that's good to know, because usually at the end, I usually just turn it off when the music hits.
Yeah.
So,
But I just give you the heads up, because I almost missed it myself.
Okay, guys, have a good one. I'll see you in 40 minutes or so.
All right, no problem. I'll see you then. Now, Jimmy, the reason why I brought all this stuff up is because I see the trap that you get into when people start talking on you and stuff. You start going in on them, and let me tell you, some of that shit you said was fucking hilarious. No lie. You had me fucking busting a gut, but they were going in there. The shit they were saying was funny too. But all I'm saying is, like, you let them talk all the shit they want, unless you honestly feel like your manhood is being questioned and you feel that shook. All right, then say something, because somebody there, you could obviously tell that they were shook. You question my manhood. I said this in my head. I'm thinking, man, yeah. Someone's questioning your manhood on the fucking internet, thousands of miles away. Boo fucking who,
Do you know what, Jed? I actually feel really bad as well, because when I watched the show back, I cut you off a couple of times, but the problem is, when you're in a mudslinging match, you almost forget like where you are a little bit. When you get so angry. To be honest, what was I gonna say? I just subscribed to your channel the other day because of Mad Chat. I'm not even sure what the stream is about. I saw your notification go off, and I clicked the live to see what you guys were. What's the topics?
We're gonna be talking about last night's Marvel's What If episode, the final episode of the season. That's what we're talking about. I'm just filling in time right now until I get a few more people in, and then we'll start talking about what if. So when Brian comes back, that's what he's going to do right now is watch it. So because I'm trying not to spoil anything for him, so he's going back to watch it, and then he's going to be back so we can discuss it. Jacqueline, did you watch it at all?
No.
Do you even watch what?
No, I haven't watched a single one.
You should check it out, but
I know it's my biggest thing is I prefer the comic over the show because the show has been so drastically changed from the comic.
Yeah, true, but I feel like with it. Let me ask you, Jim. Let me ask you both. This is a question to the band. How do you feel about the comic book movies? Honestly, do you like them? Do you know? If you don't, then why? I would like to know these things. Jimmy, you first. What are you into the comic book movies like DC and Marvel, or yes or no?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. I'm a huge comic book nerd. I love the films as well. I pretty much watch most of them. I haven't really been caught up to television shows as much. I want to watch The Winter Soldier though, and Falcon. But yeah, I've watched literally everything. As far as superhero films, I've literally from X-Men to Spider-Man to Batman, all the Avengers, Spider-Man. I'm really looking forward to the new Morbius film. The vampire one, the spin-off.
Oh yeah. Do you know
Morbius,
that he was? Do you know that he was going to be originally in the Blade movie? They had an uncut. They had an edited edition where he's at the end of the first Blade movie.
The remake.
Yeah.
Well, I can see that due to the fact that the Night Stalkers comic book series actually had Morbius, Blade, and Doctor Strange as a team up, as well as Ghost Rider at some point too.
Yeah. Yes, you're absolutely correct. All right, Jacqueline, what about you? How do you feel about the movies, the comic book movies? Do you like them? Do you not? If you don't, then what about it don't you like? I want to see where you stand.
My thing is always going to be the comics, of course, for sure. Mm-hmm. The movies have some substantial degree to actually be previewed to maybe help some people that don't like comics but want to get into the comic scene to actually become that comic nerd whatsoever. It has some value for that, but not enough to actually be concrete enough to actually start the comics in that degree, because they're only going to go for the show and not be the reader. Like when you're going into school, they tell you, like say for instance, you're in English and they tell you to read Catcher in the Rye. Well, how about I just watch the movie and get the cliff notes of it? You got to read to be able to get the more in-depth outlook and better degree of their thoughts that were going on. I remember reading the book Demon Knight for the Tales of the Crypt movie.
Right.
And I ended up watching the movie after I read the book. I already read the book before the movie. When I saw the movie, it was almost like dead on, like almost the same as the movie. I actually had a pre-image of what it would look like when the movie came out.
All right, I got you.
So reading with pictures in it too, like that for comics, it gives you an easier understanding what it should look like. But when you get the movie and it doesn't look anything like the comic, it throws you off a bit. So being a comic nerd is better than being the movie nerd of those said comics.
It's difficult as well because in a 2-hour film, how much comic allure can you squeeze in? So it's difficult.
Right.
Yeah, there's another thing too on just what he said there. 2 hours basically would give you about probably almost 200 of the comic books.
No,
yeah.
Not even remotely. You got to remember
200 actual issues of comics would be the equal of like 2 hours of a movie.
I think you're breaking it down wrong, and I'll explain that in a second. Now, I don't want to give my wife. I don't want my wife feeling like she's being ignored or anything. So let me. And she's sitting next to me, and she's got my cane in her hand. So I have to.
What's good, Mrs. Electra?
Yes, her name is Katie. Katie.
Yeah.
First of all, how do you feel about comics versus the movies, and do you like the movies? And if something could, I mean, or like I'm putting the question to you, like I put to them. So what do you got to say?
I feel put on the spot.
Why? Because you're standing here next to me and I could choke you?
Because you put her on the spot and gave her too much pressure. After saying that you have she has your cane and can whoop your ass with it. Now I don't know what to do.
She's like, don't be so quiet. Come on, talk.
I said movies are good.
Movies are good. Do you like the comics over the movies, or you like the movies over the
I
comics?
think I like the movies over the comics.
You like the movies over the comics? Okay.
Yeah, me too.
See,
Me too. I prefer the movies because it's an easier format to be entertained in. Because in a movie you can get lost. With a comic, you have to use sort of
Your
a lot more imagination.
Yeah.
Well, no. Let me break. Thank you, honey, for answering. Let me break down why I think you might be mistaken, Jackon, and here's why. Okay, let's take Endgame and Infinity War. Two movies. Between the two movies is about what 5.5 hours long?
Yeah.
3.5.
No, because
It was 3.5.
Endgame was 3 hours and 1 minute long.
3.5. It was 3.5 to 3:30, or no, 3:45.
We're gonna look
No,
that
it's
up
both
in a second.
movies.
But between the two movies, I'm saying there's about 5.5 hours of movie. All right. Now, in them 5.5 hours, we got the Infinity Glove saga. All right, somewhat. It was Marvel's take. It was Disney's take on the Infinity Glove saga. Now, when you look back at the Infinity Glove saga in the comics, that was a culmination of 25 comic books. That's including the crossovers, the mentions. I know this because I already looked it up. That's including the crossovers, the mentions, and then the annuals. You know how they have the big book, the annual. That's including those. So there for the Infinity Glove saga, it was 2 annuals, 25 comics.
So how long did you say Avengers Endgame was?
The Endgame, that's Endgame and Infinity War.
No, you said no, just the Endgame. How long did you say it was?
I think it was 3 hours, 1 minute.
Yeah, 3 hours, 1 minute actually.
Yep.
Like I said, it was about. I gave it like an extra half an hour because you got to wait for the credits and end up watching like a possible like back screen thing to see if they were going to do something else too. So you were kind of forced to watch that extra 15 minutes of fucking credits.
I think that's fucking ingenious that they did that. You know, that
It's starting to get old and predictable that they're doing that though, because it's not only just like the comic book stuff. It's you got your horror movies that are doing it, your sci-fi movies that are doing it. They're pushing this to try to get you to entice to actually watch all those credits. They know that you have to watch the credits to watch the extra scene, when they could just do the extra scene right at the end and then during the credits, but they need you to watch the credits to see that 15-20 minutes worth of credits to see all these people that are all a part of a movie. Like someone that delivered the donuts gets freaking credit in a movie. Like what?
Yeah. Do you know what it is also, mate? I think in comic books it's more of a chop block format, but with films it's the two completely different mediums. So what in the comic book, what might take about 5 minutes worth of pages for you to read, in a film, for them to physically portray that in the actual film format, it may take about 30 minutes. Because with films you have to build it up more, you have to explain more. With comic books it's more chop block, so it'll go scene to scene to scene to scene. So it's a lot faster paced in comics. It's like I used to read Japanese manga, which is kind of like comic book for Americans.
Yeah, manga.
And I used to watch anime
yeah,
as well.
that's comic.
He gets what I was talking about with the way the comic book is. What's giving you like 5 minutes to read and seeing the pictures, they have to explain it more in a movie, but they don't get the full credit of, like, say for instance, the extra like cinematics, the extra story that can go faster if they made it into a comic. I mean, a cartoon. A cartoon anime has the non-limitations of an actual live action, so you get more, like for the what ifs, you get more of like what the comic should be and could be, but they flip it around because it's Disney or something like that. It's producing it.
All right, I get you. My
So
thing
that's
is,
again why I was saying it's like 200 issues just to explain one actual like length of movie.
Yeah.
And it's even shorter if you do the live action because you can't get the actors to do half of the actual stuff that the actual superheroes can do.
Yeah, I think with a lot of these big Hollywood companies as well, they want to also squeeze in an element to the casual fan. So they always have to keep doing with every single sequel, they have to keep explaining everything that happened in the last film or make references. So they try and help people catch up. But with comic books, it's more hardcore and linear. With films,
Right.
they put a lot of filler in there as well. And that's the big companies and like the Hollywood companies, they want to put their extra stuff in there.
I personally think it was a smart thing to put the end credit scenes on, but you know that Marvel and Disney weren't. Well, it might have been Disney, but do you know that Marvel's wasn't the first one to put a mid or end credit scene? Do you remember the movie Ants?
Yeah.
The animation Ants? That's a Disney one, right? Or was that? It doesn't matter.
Pixar.
DreamWorks.
Yeah, Pixar, DreamWorks, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I think they were one of the first movies because it was big. It was in the news. If you missed it, you missed out on the end credit scenes where it was like how people have the deleted scenes or the outtakes like they did on what was it that racing movie with what was it? It was in the 70s. Cannonball Run. You know how they did on Cannonball Run at the end of the movies? They would have like deleted scenes, the outtakes and stuff like that. That's where the idea came from. And then the movie Ants came out and they had a legit end credit scene where it was outtakes in animation.
The
You know?
bloopers.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting bit of trivia for you. You know how Cannonball Run actually got started?
How?
From Smoking the Bandit 2.
I don't doubt that because to me, Smoking the Bandit was one of my favorite movies. Oh, there we go. We got Gon Jolf. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Okay. Gotta make sure. You gotta understand. When I see somebody come in, I'm gonna let them up, but I have my mouse over their page real quick just in case.
Yeah,
But
you
you're
have to be
more
careful.
than welcome to come back up here. Don't be afraid. We ain't gonna bite. Please.
Actually, Jed might bite.
I don't got that many teeth to bite, man. What the hell? If I bit you, it would not hurt. You'd be getting gummed.
I still see teeth in there. I mean,
On
limited.
the bottom. I got one top one. That's it. It looks like a fucking broken fang.
Jed, what part of America are you from?
Well, I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. But I've been out here. I'm in New Mexico now, and I've been out here since '83.
New Mexico.
You can tell he's still from the Bronx, though. He still has a Bronx accent.
So you guys are in Mexico now?
We're in New Mexico.
Okay.
Albuquerque, to be specific. We're at the crossroads of the United States.
What section of Albuquerque?
Well, we're in the Northeast Heights.
I think I was in the Southeast when I was down there.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you want me to give them our exact address? Okay, you know what? We're at no, I'm just kidding.
Now I was just wondering where you guys were based.
Yeah, no, we're in Albuquerque right now.
I'm where there's a bunch of hoes and Mormons.
Good Lord, not now. My drugs are in. Walgreens
Jed,
is calling me for my drugs.
if you ever catch me on Mad Chad's channel or yours or Mark's, I behave like normal, but when I'm on H Money's channel, I behave a little different. Uh,
No, I
so
see that. No, I totally get it. What's up, John?
Shut the hell up, Jed.
Now, what's up, buddy? How the hell you been?
Shut up, Mel.
Oh, Mel's not here, man. That's my wife that's here. This is
Do you not see Mel?
Yeah. Everybody,
Shut up, Mel.
This is a friend of mine from GTA. Him and I played GTA, and he made me do a couple of bank heists that were like one of my more funnier videos.
I am rubbing my titties right now.
Okay.
Mel, why do you keep uploading videos from 5 years ago, Mel?
Mel's not
Mel.
here.
Yes, she is.
Where is she?
Do you realize who that is?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait. Is that's not Prime, right? Prime, is that you?
Bat fast.
Oh fuck, Bap.
That's him.
Sorry, he sound like one of my. No, he's another friend. That's another friend.
I knew who that was right
Ooh.
away.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to tell you about this guy. This guy, he's a troll. He's a legit troll, but not the type that puts up nudity or anything like that. You'll find this pretty funny. His name is Prime. We call him Prime, right? This guy is he's the type of troll that takes pictures of you and makes memes out of them.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll show you. He did memes of me like this. And I think you guys would think it's hilarious. Hold on a second. I'm going to put it up here.
You know, it's got to be the best troll still. VIP.
VIP, man. VIP. If you don't know, Jimmy, VIP was a character, a person from World of Warcraft. You see what I mean about this channel? We go all over the place. But give me a second.
Yeah.
Let me show you this.
He had to do a stint too because of a girl.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Why wasn't on WoW for a while. When I told you when you were in WoW last, he came back. He just got out.
Hold on, I'm trying to find this because it's not where I usually keep it. I put all the memes someplace else.
Jed,
He put a meme of me on a woman's body that was very unflattering, to say the least. But it's funny as fuck.
You're getting paid for my stuff again.
Yeah, I totally fucked that one up. I thought that was my friend from GTA because he sounds just like him. Moving on. No, don't worry about it. Okay, he came in just to bomb me, but we were talking about the Cannonball Run and it being back from getting the idea from Smokey and the Bandit 2. Hold on a second.
Well, it's because in Smoking the Bandit 2, you had Dom DeLuise and Burt Reynolds in it, which were the two main characters in Cannonball Run.
Right. All right, let's see. Okay,
Jed.
Prime, what's up, buddy?
Excuse the fuck out of me, but who's the one that had a game where you took screenshots of people and combined them to make babies?
Yeah, but that was funny and everyone loved it.
No, you're just like me. Read what you sow, Jetty.
Okay, what he's talking about, you remember that program, and it used to be real popular where you would meld people's faces together? So I did that. I were on a site called Vaughn. I did that, and every Sunday I would do about 30 to 40. And then it was up to the chatters to guess what two streamers I put together to make this hideous looking baby. And Prime just didn't like the fact that his were like the most ugliest.
Okay.
Excuse me, everyone's was ugly. bitch.
How you been, Prime?
And also, what are you talking about? I took a picture of you and a female and put it on a female's body.
Wasn't it you that did it? Because it was either you or Butter.
Sounds like something VIP would do.
Really? Does
Who the hell are you talking about?
No, VIP is from World of Warcraft. A friend of ours from World of Warcraft. You know,
So, like,
I still am involved with that game.
Is this that you're talking about?
We're all over the spectrum, but actually, this stream is about. It's mostly about movies, and right now, it's about the What If series that just finished. And did you watch it? Do you watch What If at all?
All right, I got one. What if Jed had a big dick?
Why are you interested?
I'm sure if Vip was here, he would enjoy it.
Touche. Good question. All right, good question. But Prime, I think he got you with that one.
What if I was gay? Not that I am gay, but what if I wanted to see that thing?
Well, no, because there's no.
What if we change the topic?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Well, we're gonna get off
Jed,
that subject. But
I was the one.
I'm guessing none of these guys are boxing fans. I'm guessing none of you guys are boxing fans.
No, actually, I'm a boxing fan. Excuse me.
No, outside of you, Jed. Outside of you, Jed.
I don't know, Prime,
Jed.
Jack on, you guys boxing fans?
I was the one that took the picture of you and Katie in the hot tub and replaced Katie with another you. That
was me. Oh, dear gods.
So, Jed, is your channel not boxing? What do you cover? Is it like Marvel and?
No, Jimmy, my channel. I actually have been talking about boxing a little bit, but
That's on Friday, right?
my channel is mostly about movies, sometimes politics. It's more random. I'll do reaction videos to certain situations that came up. I'll do unboxings, like when I did an unboxing when I got my two 3D printers. I do unboxings like when I get new pop figures and stuff like that. If you look at the videos, you just gotta go. You'll see. I just got dark comedy. I like being funny. I like making people laugh, and my comedy is more dark humor, without being like gross or shit like that. You know what I mean?
And you forgot, you also simp for Bad Kitty.
Listen, leave Bad Kitty alone. All right, you got. She's all right.
No, she's not.
Speaking about unboxing, your two banners in the background. Did you hear they're doing a prequel?
Yeah,
they have the actual title out.
Yeah, we already know about that. I saw it yesterday. It was fucking awesome. And that's
I still can't stand the show. I've never watched it, nor will I ever.
Jimmy, one of my highest rating videos was a reaction to the Game of Thrones, and it's got something like 30 or 40,000 views on it. I got a couple of videos that no, more than a couple. I have more than 500,000 views on my channel on certain videos.
Yeah, I came across you first on Mad Chad's channel, so I thought it was boxing oriented. What boxing
I
channel?
don't lose you because it's not all boxing.
Okay. No, not all. I'm interested in other stuff as well. I love comics, movies, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's interesting. That's good.
Hey, Prime, we're gonna keep this to the movies. So let's not bring up anything else. No trolling. You know I'll boot you off if you go off subject. So we're gonna continue.
I'm just here to Katie.
She hears you.
Katie.
What?
I hate your duck.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. He's gone. See, he makes Katie a little uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, but that's the type of troll he is. He makes things awkward. He likes making things awkward. But never mind about him. Getting back on the subject. So as far as the end credit scenes, I think it's a smart thing to do for the simple reason that it'll keep people talking about what's going to happen in the next movie. you know, or like what Disney has done now by including TV shows like WandaVision. Like the last 2 episodes of WandaVision had end credit scenes. WandaVision, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like the direction they're going. I like the fact that we got Hawkeye coming out. These all coincide and tie into the movies. So it's making
Except
it
for WandaVision and Doctor Strange. Because Doctor Strange was supposed to show up in WandaVision, but they took him out.
Yeah, they took him out for a specific reason because they thought that it would give too much away about what's going to go on in.
It wasn't supposed to, though.
Madness.
His bit was just to hint at the possibility of what was going to happen.
Right, they didn't want to give nothing away. One thing that Marvel has been fucking so tight-lipped, and they have been really good about not letting spoilers out and stuff like that. And I like that. Jimmy, what do you think about the end credit scenes? And do you think it's a good idea, or do you think it's just a waste of time making you sit there?
I'll be honest. To be honest, if I'm out watching a film with friends or my girlfriend, I don't mind staying back an extra 5 minutes as I finish my drink or popcorn, just sitting in my chair. I don't mind waiting. That's just me.
Right.
And if I was watching it at home on DVD or Netflix, I could just forward it. So for me, I mean, they've been doing it for so long. I'm almost used to it because I kind of grew up in that era. So for me, it's kind of normal. So I don't mind it, to be honest. I mean, usually whenever I go out to watch a film in the cinemas, it's usually the last thing I do. So it'll be like maybe 1 a.m. So I don't mind staying an extra 5 minutes to let the credits roll, especially if there's a good soundtrack. I don't mind.
One thing I've noticed is
Only way to hit those credits.
Say again, Dragon?
That's about the only way to deal with them credits is if they got the soundtrack decent to it.
Right. One thing I have noticed, YouTube channels, YouTube has grown a lot when it comes to these end credit scenes, because you got a lot of channels now that totally focus on end credit scenes, and they come up with theories for the next movie, or they come up with theories for what's going to happen next in this episode or that episode of this movie. And like, I was thinking about going that direction, but I decided just to stay in the spot that I am because I'm comfortable here. I'm way too sick and to be able to put that much time in. Like I used to like when I did that face melding game every Sunday, it took 30 hours of work throughout the week between me and my wife to meld all those faces together, get my background set up, and do the show, because it was a legit show. It really was. We gave away prizes. Katie would make macrame prizes, and we'd have first, second, and third place. So I'm too sick right now, at least, to be able to invest that much time. What I'm doing now is just the right amount because I don't have to exert myself too much. If I start getting better and I build up more endurance, then possibly I'll get back into doing more things. But I like what I'm doing now. This is how come I won't change my channel as it is right now. Because I like doing this, like with Jimmy and with Jack on, sitting up here talking about something that we all have in common. We all like movies. We have opinions on end credit scenes. This is what I'm comfortable with right now. So Jimmy, now that's a more definitive answer on what this channel is all about. But you best believe when like me and Brian were talking about boxing, and I was talking about the different channels we hung out in, and I love talking about boxing, and I love talking about, you know, the people I meet, and I give promotion to any channel that I had gotten entertained in. Like I was thoroughly entertained in H Money's channel, even though I found it so damn wild and unorganized. But then I think that's the way H Money likes it, from what Brian told me, that he likes the conflict up there, and it brings views. I mean, when I was there yesterday with you, there were 70 people watching. That's pretty good.
That's the shame of it all. A lot of good channels, you can't really get good viewers unless you do what they want you to do, so they will view it more. Like there's this guy on Facebook I would watch. He would do a lot of stuff on Elder Scrolls Skyrim. But then his viewers wanted him to do more Fortnite or more Call of Duty. I'm like, dude, you kind of made me lose interest. I'll catch you every once in a while, just to bullshit around, but I really can't stand Call of Duty.
Right. No, yeah, but I like this is also a gaming channel. I do World of Warcraft and GTA. You know, people that like World of Warcraft don't like GTA. People that like GTA don't like World of Warcraft. You know, that type of thing. So I try to give them a mix, just like with this. I'm giving a mix. I might actually start talking more about boxing only because of all the friends that I made, like Jimmy and Brian and Boxing Jedi and Mark, Unrivaled Boxing, H.
Isn't that your Friday episode that you're supposed to be doing? It's the boxing thing, or just anything?
No. I do something with Jay Cotto with Boxing Jedi. I'm doing something tonight with him at 8 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock his time, on his channel. We do Elbows of the 80s, right? It's all about wrestling. And then on Fridays, we talk. Fridays is here. We talk about movies and what's coming up. And over there on Thursdays, he does another episode of Elbows of the 80s. And then sometimes he has an open mic night. All right, so.
I was a big wrestling fan.
Are you a wrestling fan, Jimmy?
Yeah, I love wrestling. I haven't watched it in a couple of years. You
should definitely check out Elbows of the 80s.
Yeah, I love Hulk Hogan is my guy.
Okay.
I grew up on guys like The Rock, Stone Cold.
No. When I'm done here, I'll drive you. You're not walking that far.
You can't drive anyway. You can
She like doing sign language.
I don't want to walk that far. No. Forget about it.
She like doing sign language in the background. I keep seeing her doing like weird signs and stuff.
She wants to go for a
I'm
walk.
telling you how it is. And you just said it was okay.
No, not to Walgreens. That's far.
It's like a mile away. Sarge.
All you have to do is drive a car. How is it far?
No, I want to drive her. It's just she doesn't want me to drive right now because I've been sick. I don't know if you guys know this, but I was in the hospital. Okay, and when I got out, I'm really sick, and I've been on a slow decline. So right now I'm doing I got physical therapists and occupational therapists and nurses that come by throughout the week to help me out to see if they can do something about me building up my stamina and being able to do more. I don't like being in the condition I'm in right now. So earlier I had an episode and I couldn't drive because I was dizzy and very weak. Now I'm telling her that I'll feel better. I'll feel better later and I will take you. She's going to argue with me. And see, I'm going to let you guys know that I'm the man and I'm in charge.
Without you noticing.
I'm sure she's just worried about you.
No, that's it.
Exactly.
No, that's exactly it. She's totally worried about me. That's it.
We all know you're going to be sleeping on the couch tonight.
She loves me, man. Let me tell you something. I've never felt love like I do from her in my entire life. I'm 56 years old. When I met her is when I first felt what it felt like for someone to love you. Up until that point, I didn't know what that felt like. I thought I did, but I didn't until her. And that's the truth. But
that's great.
Sarge.
Oh. Anyway, getting back. Let's not veer off subject, George. That's me.
Oh, he's acting crazy.
Sorry, stop being. My dog is being crazy. But anyway, getting back to the end credit scenes. Now, why I think they are a smart thing to do, other than the water cooler talk and being able to do all these different things and do all these coming up with all these theories for different movies. Another thing is it gets you a chance to, because it's important, I think, to see everybody that was involved in the making of this thing that you took the time to watch. If you liked the movie and you stayed there for the end credit scene, it gives you the opportunity to see these names. And when you see those names constantly pop up in different movies, you get to know who these people are. For me, I took the time to actually do research on some of these people. You know, a lot of these people that are on that do this work in animation and computer generated animation are here on YouTube. They have their own channels here on YouTube. They do stuff here on YouTube to entertain us. And I follow a lot of people just because I researched some of those people on the end credit scenes. Anyway,
I would agree with those credits, but I wouldn't agree with those credits inviting the people that brought them their donuts or their coffee. I don't need to know who the hell that was. Like, Starbucks Amy showed up at this, and this is why they're in the credit scenes. Like, what? No. I want to see who made the movie, not who delivered the fucking donuts.
well, I don't care. I watch them unless it's a bad movie. There's a couple of movies that I didn't watch the end credit scene because I was disgusted. Let's talk about that. Jackon, what's the last movie that you seen that you were so disgusted and you didn't even you possibly walked out during the movie, or you didn't even stay for end credit scene? You just wanted to get the fuck out.
Ever since I got popcorn time, I don't have to worry about going to the movies, so I don't have to walk out on anything. I watch some of the dumbest shit too. They literally will sit through like the worst thing. I still got to say, the worst movie, but it's also the funniest fucking movie you could ever watch, is still to this day. And it's an F movie, not a B movie. It's an F movie. It's Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It was the
Wait a minute, that's a classic, man.
It is a classic, but
That's
it was
classic.
the stupidest movie ever made. It was made at $300 value.
What's
It
up,
was literally made for
Mr.
like
Howard?
$300. But it is a cult classic.
That's
What I'm talking about. It is the dumbest movie. There's people that will walk out of that movie because it was that stupid, but it was that good that after years of forgetting about it, they'll actually sit there and watch it again and sit through the whole entire movie.
Yeah. Mr. Howard, how you doing? E Prime is now on his thing. All right. My wife loves a movie. It's called The Room. E Prime brought it up. I hate this fucking movie.
Oh, hi, George.
I've never watched the movie all the way through.
So how
She-
could you say you hate it?
Because I hate the premise of the movie. I've seen the reviews. I've seen snippets of the movie. The acting is so bad that it's like, for me, it's like nails across the chalkboard. You know what I mean?
You don't know art. It's art. Okay.
This movie, they have these watch, what do you call them? Watch parties.
Like they travel and
Yeah.
to these different cities and stuff. They have yet to come to Albuquerque, but they've been to Santa Fe.
They have these watch parties to watch this tremendously horrid movie.
You're horrid.
It's really bad, Jacqueline. And my wife absolutely, it's one of those movies like Attack of the Killer Tomato. It's so bad that it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's another one that me and Katie actually got into, was Attack of the Potatoes.
Attack of the Killer Donuts?
Yeah, the Attack of the Killer Donuts. Wasn't there one with potatoes?
No. I would know.
No, Prime. It was 3 days ago. But yes.
Yeah, Prime. Get up to date on your information, Prime. It was 3 days
It
ago.
was on the 3rd. And today is the 6th.
But anyway, getting back to the subject. So yeah, for me, the one movie that I couldn't even sit through, it was the first time I ever did that, was Jaws 3D. I couldn't believe they took Bruce to what he was from Jaws. Jaws 2 wasn't as good as Jaws 1. No, it didn't even come close, but I could tolerate Jaws 2.
Jaws 4 was the worst by hand.
No, I even like Jaws 4 better than Jaws 3D. I walked out of Jaws 3D. I think about 2/3 of the way through, I said, no, I can't deal with this no more.
Oh, you didn't like Dennis Quaid?
Now,
I thought Dennis Quaid was a pretty interesting premise behind that. That and no, Dreyfus wasn't in that one. Dreyfus was in the first two. If I
yeah,
remember.
Dreyfus was in the first one.
And the second one, I believe, too. I think he died in the second one.
No, Dreyfus wasn't in the second one. Dreyfus was in the first one, and that's it. But the first one was like classic. The first one was like the first movie, the first mega movie that I went to go see. That was a groundbreaking movie. It just was. That's when the blockbusters started. Jaws was the first blockbuster movie. Period. You know, up until then, there weren't day and dates where you picked to choose to get the most money out of it. That was a blockbuster movie. That was a historic movie that came out. Then after that, you had you had movies come out at a specific time, hoping that they would do this much money. Every movie is out there to make money. But that was the first actual blockbuster. After that, you'll see the changes that happen to the movie, to the entertainment industry. You just look at Jaws and go forward from Jaws, and you'll see Jaws have made a lot of changes to the movie industry. I love the changes it made.
Mel Brooks did, too.
Mel Brooks did for comedy what Jaws did for movies, for the blockbuster. Mel Brooks, God damn it, I can't intentionally miss a Mel Brooks movie. You know, History of the World Book 2. Oh my fucking God. I couldn't stop laughing.
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles. Dude, the
Another
black
movie
sheriff,
that-
right off the back, you start off with a black sheriff. You know this shit's gonna be fucking funny.
That's why Quentin Tarantino did the way did the movies he did too. He did them historically correct because back in the time, sorry, I don't care what what generation you're in, these guys put it in the proper generational time period.
Oh, we got Brian back. Brian, my brother,
Yo,
how did you like it?
I enjoyed.
Okay, Dracon. What we're gonna do is now we're gonna go. We'll stay on the subject for a second. Then we're gonna go right into
The what if?
into the what if. So I want you to stick around, but if you don't want no spoilers, I'm just letting you know.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not like other people that get bent over shape of a spoiler. To me, you only spoiled what the premise is behind it, but until you watch it, you can't actually sit there and say you spoiled anything because I didn't get the actual intent or the actual viewing of that said movie by you spoiling the details of the movie. You can say anything you want about the movie, spoil it for me, but it's going to end up taking me seeing it to see what you said is to actually be factual. You could be lying to me the whole time. You've muted yourself.
Sorry, give me a second. Brian, could you do me a favor? Could you and Dracon talk for a second?
Yeah, I can.
I gotta talk with my wife.
Have you watched any of the What Ifs?
No, I read the comics.
Oh, okay.
I prefer the comics over the series, honestly.
Okay. No, you should do it.
I eventually will, but I already know that I'm gonna actually enjoy the comics over the cartoon version of it. Honestly,
No, I get you, right, but it's pretty well done.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that the graphics of it, the storyline might be way different than the actual comic book versions of them, but yeah, for people that haven't actually gotten into the comics themselves. The shows are going to probably be great for them. They might actually generate enough to actually get people to enjoy comics again and actually get into the comic industry and actually read the comics for themselves to actually see that what's more genuinely greater than the actual show itself. I mean, the show's got its value because now you get to see the comic book in motion in some kind of animated fashion, so it stays a little bit more truer to the comic book franchise versus I don't want to say too much of it being a shit show like the live action versions, because they're severely limited by the actors not being able to do what those actual superheroes can do in the actual comics. So you're limited in that base. So they have to cut a lot of stuff because the special effects will just kill their bank account for them making the movie. And the movie would have to be 10 hours long versus the 2.5 to 3 hour long movies that they prefer to actually make them at, because no one will actually sit for that long a period of time.
I would. But then again,
if you're a comic book reader, you're going to do that. But for someone who's not in the comic book enjoyment, they're not going to sit through a 10-hour live action movie of a comic they've never read.
Okay, yeah, but here's my point of view, right? I sat for I sat for the director's cut of what do you call that? The Justice League movie, and I didn't even think the movie was so good.
The redoing and the one done by the person that actually started doing it.
The Snyder Cut?
Yes, the Snyder Cut was far better.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, right. It was far better, right? But I'm just saying that was a 4-hour movie, and I didn't even think it was a good movie altogether. You know?
Did you like the Snyder Cut or not, Brian?
I preferred the Snyder Cut to the original movie.
The original movie I thought was kind of shit, and
it was too short.
Not only did I think it was short, but you can tell there was a lot left out.
Exactly. So that's my point. That's my other point about to do a live action movie justice from the comic books. It would have to be almost 200. It would have to probably be 1,000 issues, and it have to be about 10 hours long to really put in the backstory and the special effects, which would probably bankrupt them like crazy. But they would make billions upon trillions of dollars to make this movie and get it out with people that are freaking fanatics for comic books, because they would sit through that movie and watch every bit of that, criticizing it on top of enjoying the fuck out of it.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? I enjoyed the What Ifs series, right? It's probably out of all the series that have come out in the last while, you know, I'm not really a comic book guy. You know, like I'll explain it this way, right? Just say for me to get a comic book like that, there was a comic book store, and the nearest one was like 30 miles away when I was younger. So me going to a comic book store every time I wanted to see a comic, you know what I mean? So when I was younger, you know, my dad weren't going to go 30 miles for me just to get a comic and, you know, come back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. My thing is, when I look at the comic books compared to the comic book movies,
yeah,
I look at it like this. I was totally like awestruck when X-Men came out. I was awestruck when Blade came out. Blade was, in my opinion, was done right. But see, I knew the comic books, and Blade, the way they did Blade in the movie was completely different from the way Blade looked in the comic book. Because Blade in the comic books was like a what do you call it? Like an Indiana Jones type character.
Yeah,
with a hat and stuff like that. He was an archaeologist. That type of shit. Blade in the movie, they completely changed him around, and then that's when the comic changed around. You know, it was very close within that time. But when X-Men came out, because Wolverine was one of my favorite characters. Well, no, Wolverine is my favorite character, period.
Yeah, fine too.
And I wanted to see how they would do Wolverine. Now, you have to take into consideration, at least I did, you know, you can't, like, when you look at a comic book and you read the comic book and then you see the pictures, yeah, they want things to come out and pop, you know, the colors of the suits, the shape of these beautiful women, you know, they accentuate these body parts and stuff like that. You get it. That's great for the comic book, but on the silver screen, that wouldn't come out looking as good. So what they did and the changes they made, A, to the story and B, to the characters, makes sense in a more realistic and grounded perspective. This is why I like these movies so much, especially if the movie's done right. Now, mind you, there's been crap comic book movies put out there, that are not worth even mentioning. But when it's done right, it looks fabulous. Let's take Batman. Well, first of all, let's go back to when Batman came out in '89. I think it was '89.
89, Michael Keaton, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's Batman. Oh my God, they did that movie so much justice. That movie to this day, it still holds the standard. And Jack Nicholson's version of
the Joker,
for me, is still the best Joker. That's
You're out of goddamn mind. Cesar Romero's the best fucking Joker ever.
Cesar Romero. I'm talking about the movies.
I don't care what movie. I don't care what.
Cesar Romero.
Not even Mark Hamill played a good voice for the Joker. The best Joker out of all things, the Joker, except for the comic books, is Cesar Romero. For anything television.
I respect that. I respect that because I did like Cesar Romero. Because I was wondering when Jack Nicholson came out as the Joker, how is he going to do Cesar Romero? I like what they did with the Joker.
Yeah, he's great. He's great and all for the bit, but not
the movie.
The best Joker? No. Not even Heath Ledger is the best Joker ever.
Heath Ledger's Joker was a completely different Joker and great in its own universe. But for me, for the best Joker for me, hands down, is definitely Jack Nicholson. But this is what I'm talking about. They did the movie. It was still grounded in reality somewhat. It was still grounded. He had all the lights, bells, and whistles, but in a realistic way or something close to realism. So that's what I like. Now, if you go and try to put the X-Men in these spandex, Brian, in your opinion, do you think they would look good on the silver screen in those spandex that they're in the comic books?
Probably not.
No.
Well, Halle Berry looked good in the name. So.
Well, okay, Halle Berry's a different story altogether.
You can put Halle Berry in the name.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they would be perfectly fine wearing spandex if they weren't the comics.
What? We're not talking about bulges. Breasts are okay. We ain't looking at bulges.
Like I said, if we're gonna sexualize it in front of a woman,
Yeah, come on now. Not only guys actually read comic books.
So what do you? So that after saying what I said, what is your opinion as far as comics versus movies? Do you think that the changes that they make, like to say costumes compared to from the comic to the silver screen, do you like the changes or would you rather them stay comic accurate?
no, I like the changes.
You like the changes?
Yeah.
And if we're going to sit there and complain about spandex, I'm sorry, but Superman's movies were spandex, and Deadpool was in spandex.
Yeah. Like you can get away with, right? So I think some people can get away with it.
You're right.
Like,
Some people
like
get away with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see Logan in the yellow, like just to see what it looks like on him. Maybe they looked at it and went, maybe it just didn't suit. What's his name? The guy who played Logan in the movies.
You're talking about Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
Right. When I do think of Wolverine, who is my favorite character, I think of a 5'5" type guy, short, muscular, you know what I mean? Like, type thing, just tight, right? I don't think of a 6'3", 6'2", 6'3" guy right? I never got Hugh Jackman as, I don't think he played a good Wolverine.
He
The-
played a more accurate Wolverine than most anybody else would have ever done, honestly. And
He did not.
hear this. Most people don't realize this. They're supposedly doing a Old Man Logan movie. They're supposedly doing one, and Hugh Jackman's supposed to come back to play Old Man Logan.
Well, yeah. Sure, didn't he not die in the last one? So,
Yeah,
No.
he died in the last one, but they're thinking about I know they're talking about he might possibly be in the Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange movie coming out. There's a rumor going around that Patrick Stewart and a few other people from the X-Men are coming and going to be in this Multiverse of Madness.
yeah, well, the multiverse thing does open up every single character you could think of,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Past,
a good way to
present,
bring in the
yeah, past and present and all this, right? So yeah, no, that's the one thing about the multiverse. It will bring in like old characters, we think are gone, or old character, you know what I mean? Like, so that's interesting, right? And I can't wait to see what to do with that.
And there's
Right.
supposed to be something similar, like what's going on with Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to seeing what Spider-Man is going to go on now.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the Spider-Man movie. Tell you the truth, right? I enjoyed the first two. I enjoyed the first two movies, the first Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man: Far From Home. I thought they were good introductions to this Peter Parker. I actually prefer this Peter Parker's performance because when I think of Peter Parker, I think of a young guy at school, right?
Yeah,
You know,
high schooler. When I first
Yeah,
read
just-
the comic, he was a high schooler.
yeah,
16
like-
years of age.
and they actually brought in a team to like I like Holland, right? He's a bumbling idiot. You can see why he's a nerd, right? But he's a likable guy. At the same time, I do like what they've done with the Spider-Man. There's a few things off on the Spider-Man from the comics I don't like. Like the actual weapon, like he doesn't make his own weapon, things like that. There, just simple things like that. But I do like Tom Holland as Peter Parker,
Right.
and I haven't always liked the Peter Parkers in the movies.
I was quite happy with Sam Raimi's version of Spider-Man. I had no problem with Tobey Maguire. I thought Tobey Maguire at that time did a great job as Spider-Man. The first two movies, actually, I thought the second movie was better than the first, but all the movies except the third one was kind of with the emo shit. I didn't like that too much. But I did like the fight with Sandman, Venom, and all that. I got that. But moving forward to now, when we look at What If, now we're going into the What If. When we saw the last two episodes of What If, Brian and I did, and my wife did too.
Yeah.
So this last night's episode of What If, I thought it was a wonderful cap to the season. I thought it was a wonderful cap. The way to close off. I have a couple of questions about continuity, but we'll get into that later. But I thought it was a wonderful cap to the season of What If. Brian, I'd like your opinion on what you saw. You just now looked at it, just now seen it. What was your impression of What If this week? And don't worry, delve into spoilers. Jack already knows.
Right. Basically, right. It ended up last week. With Ultron, this all powerful being. He's got the Infinity Stones, right? And basically, he's taking over the universe, right? But I enjoyed because it really started with what's her name? Not Captain America's.
Captain Carter.
Captain Carter. It really started with Captain Carter. Basically she's doing a mission where we've seen Steve Rogers already do.
Right.
In the movie. So, it comes up to that, right? And basically during the middle of her fight, next thing you see is what's his name? The
Watu,
Watcher guy. You know, you see him.
my
You
wife
see,
calls him Babyface.
yeah, right. You see, you see him come and Captain Carter, you have been chosen. Right, I don't know where she looks up at the sky, this big thing, Captain Carter, you have been chosen. Right, and I think next is 4. And four's hilarious, right? I love 4's character. He's a child. He's someone who's never grown up in the
He's a man
series.
child.
Yeah, he's a man child, right? He's never grown up. He's a child, right? And he's beaten all Ultron's robots, right? And right, he's on about him and James meant to be going on a date, him washing his hair and all, and all this hair. And next thing you see is Babyface. Good conversation. Next thing you see, I'm standing over, right, and basically, 4, you have been, right, and he's fighting away. Stand still. He's fighting the Ultron robots, and then next thing you know, right, Babyface grabs him up and he goes, 4, you have been chosen, and this goes on, right? Even
He did that
Killmonger.
same scream that he did in. He did that same scream where that he did in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It's like, no!
Yeah, like right. 4's hilarious. You see the 2 episodes where 4's been in this one. He is hilarious. I think he's my favorite character in the whole show because he's just, right.
Yeah, he's all nonchalant. He's party Thor.
Yeah.
Party
Like,
Thor.
Killmonger has been chosen. Right, it looked like they were going to get Killmonger in the end. Right, the Wakanda army was,
Yeah, Shuri came into the room, and they were going to go and jack him up.
So of course, Killmonger, you have been chosen. Like basically what he's doing there, he's getting a team. Doctor Evil Strange, he's there as well.
I call him Darker Strange.
Dark Strange, like he's already there. Right. Basically what they do is they get a team together. Right. And it's very interesting. They go through course 4. Right. 4. He is a child, right? They land up in a pub because it looks like the pub that, they danced in the 1930s.
Yeah, with
Peggy and Captain America, and Peggy's like, I know this place, and Strange like, that's my idea. I read it in your history, bio that, and like, right, and of course 4 goes, do we have a drink, right? Yeah, because and Strange is behind the bar and he gives him a drink, but
the bottomless beer.
Got him his beer, but basically, right, they describe the Ultron situation, Babyface and, like Doctor Strange, the Infinity Stones, but no, the whole thing, right, was just set up. And 4's hilarious again, right, because after they discussed the plan, we didn't really hear the plan, right? The 4's hilarious. They go, can you talk about the plan again? Some people didn't understand. I understood it, but not everyone. They also got T'Challa. Also, like,
oh yeah,
the team as well. Like, T'Challa rescued. T'Challa rescued
Peter Quill.
Peter Quill from his father.
Yeah. Real quick, let me change the focus to Katie. Katie, all right, your opinion. Describe when you saw it last night with me. All right. Talk about the opening scenes and talk about what you thought, real quick, like Brian just did. And we're gonna go further on into the movie because then I'll give my opinion. But you next, please. Talk about what your impressions of the first 10 minutes of last night's show.
First 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, thereabouts.
Oh.
Like he just did.
All I'm gonna say is that it was pretty funny that Iron Man was choking.
This woman is the bane of my existence. She knows how much I like Iron Man.
Like,
Right? So she loves it when Iron Man dies, doesn't get picked, or is not part of the fucking show.
Yeah.
She always gives me shit. Why? Why so much
it's-
hate for the guy?
no, it's not.
Because you get a bigger stiffy for Iron Man than you do for Katie.
Really?
No, no,
That might be true.
no, the thing is that he fucking sucks. That's all. It's not because you like him so much. It's because he sucks.
Will you shut up with Iron Man? Stick to the
As a
movie. Never mind
character,
about
he sucks.
Iron
As a
Man.
hero, he sucks. All together, he sucks.
All right, never mind your opinion about Iron Man. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so go about the movie, the show.
No one wanted to bring up Iron Man.
You know what I'd like to see them do for another Spider-Man movie? Put Black Cat into it.
I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see.
see.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken of her at all.
Well, actually, she's supposed to be on the raft. If you've seen the Netflix episode, the last episode of Jessica Jones, Black Cat goes to the raft.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
If you've seen it, this is supposed to have happened just before the snap, but the Jessica Jones Black Cat realizes that she's actually the bad guy, and they got her in cuffs and everything, and they're taking her to the raft.
Well, Black Cat is very much like what Catwoman is to DC. She kind of is a villain.
But
She's a cat burglar.
She's definitely a villain. All right,
Yeah.
Brian. Well, let me go on about the.
He got picked over Iron Man because I could forget there was a member of the team.
It was Gamora. Gamora got picked over.
Gamora. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Gamora. I thought they were gonna take them both, man. Iron Man looked decked out, man.
Yeah.
Iron Man looked decked out for sure, man.
You know, basically the plan was separate the stones from the body and crush the stones with this stone crusher thing that was made, right? That was made to crush the Infinity Stones. Gamora had that, you know. So this was the plan they basically came up with.
Yeah, because they were destroying the stones when they got
Yeah.
Gamora. They were destroying the stones.
Yeah. So basically they were landing. So basically they land on an empty planet or an empty universe. You know. Of course. Thor gets excited, and Thor said something. He goes. Basically, I got a knack of attracting unwanted attention.
Yeah. I remember
Which was-
that, right?
which was absolutely hilarious, right? So yeah, right. So basically, yeah, he goes. He attracts unwanted attention. Basically, they're on this planet alone, and Strange sets them all drinks, and Thor goes, "Go celebrate," and of course he does his lightning thing. Next thing you know, Ultron comes.
There's still he comes like, oh, there's still people alive in this universe. Yeah.
You know, so like Ultron comes, there's still people alive in this universe, right? And Strange, Dark Strange, right? He puts a protection spell on everyone. On Ultron,
What do you think of that? By the way, I thought that was cool. The end. Have you seen the Eternals commercials? Have you seen them? You
No,
haven't seen them?
I don't watch
Well,
commercials. No.
Well, it's the what do you call it? The teaser
Trailers.
the teaser trailers, right?
Yeah,
the
I don't watch
same
trailers, but-
animations, right? The protection spells that Strange used on on the Guardians of the Multiverse. That's the name of the group now, right?
Yeah.
It looks like the same type of energy that was used that the Eternals are using. That's coming up in the next movie called The Eternals. So I thought it was interesting. I'm wondering if there's any correlation between the two types of magics. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, so he puts right. Ultron tries to destroy them. He goes, right, and he goes. Basically, that was easy. He looks like he's leaving. Next thing you know, right? Next thing you know, they all come out. None of them are scratched, right? And Ultron goes, "You people don't usually last this long, or it's usually easier to kill you. It's easier, it's usually easier to kill you, right? So no, it's quite, and of course, right? They start attacking. They come up with a plan. Like they're doing the plan, and right, basically it's to separate. So T'Challa is the thief, right? So basically distract Ultron, and T'Challa gets up close and nicks off an Infinity Stone, or two.
No,
So anyway,
I think didn't he get? It was the one on the far.
I think it was the Soul Stone, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. The Soul Stone. He got the Soul Stone.
So he grabbed the Soul Stone, and Ultron doesn't realize it. He goes, "You've used all your weapons. Let me show you what I can do with mine." And he tries to use them, and he realizes he's got a stone missing. Right. So basically, he attacks T'Challa. And like the stone starts bouncing around the place, and they're trying to get it. And they're attacking Ultron, and Ultron. So yeah, that's basically a scramble for that stone.
Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question, because I'm going to tell you right now, it kind of chokes me up when I think about it. This was the absolute last project that Chadwick Boseman worked on. All right.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he gave whatever he had left in him.
Yeah.
To do these parts. Or did it kind of choke you up to know that this is the last work we're going to see him do?
Yeah, kind of.
Because what about you, Katie? What do you think? The fact that Marvel What If is the last project that Chadwick Boseman worked on for Marvel. It's the absolute last. I mean, how did it make you feel? Katie loved Black Panther. She loved Chadwick. But yeah.
I thought she was going to bring up Iron Man again.
Let's not talk about Iron Man, because all she's going to do is try to piss me off.
That's what I was thinking. She was going to do that. What does it have to do with Iron Man?
I don't have to try to piss you off.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel? And you too, Jackon. I mean, what do you think about the fact that this is his last project that he did for Marvel?
Yeah.
How good a job he did with Black Panther.
Yeah,
and
it's hard, right?
This guy's done some good work. I don't know, but he's done some groundbreaking work in film. He's done some really good movies.
Yeah, no, it's hard, right? Because right up to the point when he died, I remember the morning when he, I remember just turning on my Instagram, and it was all over the place. He died. I didn't even know he was sick.
A lot of people didn't.
You know what I mean? I didn't even know, right? And I was wondering what happened. It was cancer, right? And here's the thing, right? Listening to him, you wouldn't even think he was sick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Watching it, because apparently he was sick during the Panther movies. He was also sick during the Infinity, not Infinity, the last one. At the end, not the Infinity, what do you call Endgame?
Endgame.
He was sick during Endgame as well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know it. right? So in that respect, right, I respect what he did because you felt like he put everything into it. You know, you felt like, you know, like great performances, right? And
Yeah,
I
all right.
got nothing but
All
I
right,
got nothing but respect for that guy, you know.
Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I got nothing but respect for him, you know, what he did, you
A
know.
great
So
actor.
absolutely.
We lost him way too early. I think he would have been on par with people like like God. I'm having that cucumber moment, Brian. So you got to excuse me.
Gotta stay away from them cucumbers, man.
the guy that did. Oh my God! Never happened. It always happens when I want to pull up the name, but he's like among the top African
Say what
American.
he's done. I can tell you who it is.
He did. Oh my God, man!
I know when that I hate when this happens.
He's having a Biden moment.
I'm shut up. Leave me
This,
alone.
this,
Biden
here,
moment. Wow.
here, this happens to me when I'm arguing with Mark about something. Right? It's like the name's gone. The name, I know him. What fight did he fight in? Oh, geez, and I know fucking well. You know, this always happens to me when I'm, you know, having the argument with Mark. You know,
This used to do this to me with 007. There's a 007 movie that has a James Bond in it. He only did one movie, but no one would remember his name.
Oh yeah. And I remember that. That's the one movie where he got married, and then his wife got killed at the end of the movie. Yeah, I remember that. That was actually a pretty good James Bond movie. Oh my God, this is bothering me so much. It was it's not The Exterminator. It was also a comic book, but they changed it to a movie. He was a military guy. At the end, he kills the antagonist with a fucking nail gun. What the fuck was the name of the movie? I know this.
That bad he can't even remember the name of the movie.
You know what? I'm giving up. I'm giving up on that one. But anyway, all I want to say is that he definitely would have been one of the greats. Not would have been. He is one of the greats. We lost him too soon.
yeah, I like him
He would have done many more great movies. And
as a character. Yes, I like him. You know, I like T'Challa. As an actor, I always like, you know, I always like Boseman. So, you know, like, yeah.
He played James Brown. He played Jackie. Let's see. He played James Brown. He played the baseball player, Jackie Robinson. There's another historic character that he played as well, and the guy. I don't know if did he win an Oscar?
Boseman?
Did Boseman win an Oscar?
I don't know. All right, let me see here.
I'm not sure if he did, but the performances that he gave, he definitely deserved an Oscar. Especially one where he plays James Brown. He did a real good job as James Brown.
Well, see, that's why you're sick. Keep sucking on that damn thing over there.
But moving forward, all right, Brian. Moving forward with the show, what did you think of? Did it bother you? All right, because this is one of the plot holes that kind of messed with me about it. It messed with me ever since the last episode, the episode previous to the last. The Infinity Stones are only supposed to work in that particular universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that he was able to break through the reality and get to the Watcher kind of like bothered me. How is that supposed to be a thing? Because those Infinity Stones, if you followed Loki, which I did, should be moot in,
Yeah.
in any other universe. But that could be a mistake too, because maybe they're just moot in the TVA.
Well, they could explain that because remember when Ultron said in this, all Infinity Stones from every universe is different.
Right. I'm
You-
wondering,
you-
is that the way they just covered that plot hole then?
maybe they heard fans. Maybe they heard fans, say something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and that was their rationale. These Infinity Stones do work on any universe because each one has different energies. Or different. You know what I mean? So
Is that why? But see, that's remember when they put the Infinity Crusher, the thing that Gamora put on there to
yeah,
destroy the stones, and
Yeah.
it didn't destroy the stones. It did delay Ultron from doing anything.
yeah. It destroyed the stones in her universe, but these were different
Right.
stones. So you know what I mean? Like the stones maybe on the universe Loki was at. Maybe those were different type of maybe they had a different energy where they didn't work. You know what I mean?
Right. What about
So-
let's go to another part of the. Let's go. I want to ask Katie about this. What did you think? What was your impression? What the fuck is that look for? Okay. What
I
was
think
it?
maybe they did that to justify it, Jed. You know what I mean?
You think so? All right.
I think that's why they added that wee plot twist in. Every stones are different, So
They're all
that-
different. They are all different. They all work in different universes, but the one that breaks all those universal rules is the Reality Stone. I told you that before. Reality Stone is actually able to break any reality, any universe, anything. Hence why
But
it's,
are you going by the comic book version?
I'm going
Because
by
I
the
think that's
concept
right.
of the lore of stones like that to
the
begin
comic
with.
book version, right?
That's what they brought the stones from. They didn't just like automatically just magically say, oh yeah, reality stones finally exist only because of the movies.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. What did you think when Ultron, Katie? What did you think when Ultron used the Time Stone? When once they got him in a fucked up position, Ultron went and started using the Time Stone to bring back time, and he had the green bubble around him, and all of a sudden, Doctor Strange or Darker Strange opened his Eye of Agamotto where his Time Stone was at. What do you think about him nullifying what Ultron was doing? Do you see that as a plot hole, or do you think that fits in with the narrative?
I think it fits.
And saying, what you got anything else other than I think it fits? Do you want to say something about it?
I just think it fits.
Okay, yeah,
Makes sense.
so you did make sense. Okay. What about you, Brian? Did it make sense? Did it fit the narrative to what you and Brian and Jackon are saying?
Well, you see, I don't know what the universe, because that's the one he did have was the Time Stone, right? So if the reality stone, is the one that breaks all barriers, if he didn't have the Reality Stone, I don't know how it worked in that universe. And I'm
So
on
you-
about Doctor Strange.
All right.
Or
So
Dark Strange.
okay. So do you see a plot hole? Do you feel uncomfortable in any way?
Yeah.
You do see a plot hole, and it has
Yeah.
to do. And does yours deal with the Time Stone? Because for me, my plot hole, has to do with old stones. But then Jackon made a good argument about the Reality Stone being able to rectify that. But I still have an issue with Strange using his Time Stone at the same time that Ultron used his. Is that a plot hole for you?
It's smart. Smart because Ultron didn't know what was happening. Right? And that reality, he was like, because Ultron would use it to slow down time, and Strange would use it to stay, in real sync. If you know what I mean, like with Ultron. Ultron didn't see it coming, right? It was a smart strategy, but just not that there, right? After he destroyed them all, he dropped. I think he dropped the mountain on them or something, like not a mountain, but he exploded the planet pretty much right away.
When he used the beam to cut into the ground.
Yeah, right away, right? Thing used it to reverse time, Strange.
Yeah.
Which was a very good plot twist, right? Because Ultron didn't understand what was happening. Then he realized Doctor Strange has his own Infinity Stone. So I think that was the first time he realized that, in the fight. Because Strange didn't bring it out until then. He didn't show it.
All right, Jack, I got a question for you. Dragon, don't you think it would be? Don't you think a catastrophic event would happen if two characters that are in the same reality at one given time use the same exact stone from two different universes? Wouldn't that, in your opinion, be something cataclysmic?
No, one would equal out the other because it's an entirely, like you were saying, because of the universes and the different stones from those said universes, having two different separate time stones, one would equal out the other. So Doctor Strange's ability to use his time stone against Ultron's time stone, Ultron stopped time. It cut time.
He was reversing time to get back
to time, or whatever he cut it, whatever he did with the time. It got equaled out from Doctor Strange's time stone, so allowed Doctor Strange to still be able to work in regular time against the time stone that Ultron was using. Because they equal out each other, if that's the case being, if two of the same stones are there, albeit in two different universes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's push forward, Brian. What did you think of the scene? What did you think of the scene where I know, right? I keep stuttering.
Basically,
what'd you think of the scene where Black Panther, Killmonger. What'd you think when he kept looking into that Ultron head in the beginning, right? In the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts? Did you think that he was planning something, or did you think that this guy is not right? Because why are they focusing in on him while he's looking at this Ultron helmet? What was your impression?
Of course he was planning. Of course he was planning something, right? His whole mission, right? You see, once the fighting started, right? Killmonger was nowhere to be seen. So his whole thing is, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to let these guys possibly destroy each other, and I'm going to pick my moment, right? His whole thing was timing, right? Each guy was there for their own set of skills. He was there because he's a master liar, and he betrays. That's that's why Killmonger was there.
And you say what? Say that loud. I couldn't hear you.
What?
Say what you were saying. He just wanted what?
I think he just wanted power, just like the one in our universe or whatever.
He just wanted more power.
Yeah.
Just like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all he wants is power, right?
Power.
But he was there. He was chosen. He was chosen because of his ability to betray. Right?
Do you think that's why he was chosen? You don't think he was chosen because of his skill or anything, just to betray? Well, actually, if you think about the end, that kind of makes sense then, because that's what the Watcher was planning on that then.
Yeah, basically another enemy to look at. Why they could do their thing. You know what I mean? Like why the master or the masters of the universe, not masters,
The Guardians of the
the guardians of the universe,
the
you know,
multiverse.
of the multiverse, the guardians of the multiverse, right? Why they could do their thing. He was there to betray. He was there to betray them. That was his mission, to give Ultron something else to focus on for a few minutes. That's why he was there. That was the only reason. Because if you look when they were fighting, he was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah,
And as soon
part
as
of the
he
fight,
saw his
he
moment,
wasn't around. It was mostly
Yeah.
Peggy Carter. It
Yeah.
was mostly Peggy Carter, T'Challa, and Thor fighting,
Strange and
and
Gamora.
Gamora.
And he was nowhere to be seen, right? So I was watching this action, right? I was watching this, and I was like, where's Killmonger? You know what I mean? Like, I was watching it. I was like, where's Killmonger? Right? And I said, he's going to betray them somehow. He's going to find a way to try to get these stones.
What'd you think? What'd you think when?
And he did.
What'd you think when he got the stones, right? And just as everyone was down, what'd you think when he put on the armor? And you too. Actually, let me ask you first. You hardly talk. What'd you think when he put on Ultron's armor and then got all the stones in there? What was your thoughts?
I probably talk.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, when you're not on camera, you just can't stop talking. So come on, I want that one.
She's got an audience that she doesn't know, so she's quiet.
Wait,
Yeah.
I said what I had to say.
All right, Brian. So what did you think when he took Ultron's armor?
Well, we forgot a plot twist, because they did go to another planet. They went to the planet where Natasha Romanoff is the last person
Oh
alive.
yeah, that's right. They did. That's where they got the arrow from to get the virus.
Yeah, right. So basically, and then of course Ultron followed them to the planet. Like Natasha's like, who are you? Blah blah blah, usual. And Peggy,
Oh,
Captain Carter, she basically says, you're my best friend. In my world, basically there's only 3 people you trust. One is me. We all know who the other 2 is. The other one was Clint, and the third one was Fury.
yeah.
And she goes, we must have been very close. And she goes, yeah, I think the Captain Carter goes, I think the term is BFF, And then of course Thing followed them. And of course this was all planned by Babyface.
Yeah.
It was all planned by Babyface, so they could get Zongo in them, right? So basically, the new strategy was, make a distraction, and I can hit with the arrow. So Natasha came out of nowhere, eventually got with the arrow, and it was Zorro, or what's his name?
Zoloft.
Zongo.
Zoloft?
Yeah.
Is it
Zoloft
Zoloft?
is a medication.
No, was it? It's no. What
Zoloft.
the fuck is his name?
The
Zemo.
robot.
No, that's Zero. That's Baron
Zemo.
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 No,
Yeah.
Zoloft. It is Zoloft. I can't remember the first
The
name.
robot. The
robot, yeah.
robot. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was such a badass scene when Peggy Carter jumped up there and grabbed his Ultron's head just
Yeah.
so that the fucking arrow could hit him right in the eye.
Yeah. That happened. Natasha got off her shot, and next thing you know, you saw, he could hear something inside of him, Ultron, and of course it's whatever his name is, taking over his mind, his body, and they go at it, and something he said. It's been a while since I've had legs. Because remember when they put the thing on the last time around? Remember he shut off the legs.
Yeah, Natasha shot out his legs because she didn't
But
want him to
it's
pull any
been a
bullshit.
long, it's been a long time. So and he's in Ultron's body now, and he's got all these, he's got the Infinity Stones, so he's feeling quite powerful. And I don't know how he does it, but Killmonger somehow took the stones away from him. Somehow,
I think it was because Ultron was so, like, first of all, he was confused about what was going on. He had the virus, so he basically didn't have control of his own self. That made him weak enough for Killmonger to get the stones and be able to do what he did.
Yeah.
I do gotta let people know, for those that are watching, and those that actually watch later or watch this video later, I'm going to be closing out this stream in about 15 minutes or less, because we do have we have a commitment to Boxing Jedi to do our Elbows of the 80s over on his channel.
Oh, that's right.
You want to go see us? We'll be over there, and it's going to start at 10 o'clock Eastern. And it's going to be on it's called J Kodo Boxing Jedi. That's what we'll be. Anyway, continuing on, we got to make sure we get to the end of what we've seen. So let me ask you a question. When you see Killmonger and Ultron fighting for the stones and trying to get, before we find out what happens at the end, what went through your mind when those two were like using the Force to get the stones back to each other? What was going through your mind?
What's going to happen next? Tell you the truth, I didn't want neither of those two to have the stones because that's dangerous.
Right.
Killmonger is the type of dude, he will destroy you. No white people would be living in any universe if he had, right? He would automatically kill all the white people, right?
There'd be no white people, man. I'd be fucked because I don't have enough melanin in my fucking system. Yeah, I'm gone.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, but I'll be dead by now if he was, No, but in general, in general, right? I didn't really want none of them to have it, but this is where
I didn't want anyone to have it. I didn't want anyone to have it. Unless they did something like the comic books did, like Jacon would know this one. Unless they had the Illuminati, which each member of the Illuminati had one of the Infinity Stones, and I can understand that, but that's not the situation here. Now, let's get into the end of this, all right? Because we got to close this out. Let's get to the end of this, all right? Now, if you didn't know, Jacon, at the end of this show, it ended up Killmonger and Ultron fighting each other, and they, without them knowing, they were getting themselves trapped in their own little universe, their pocket universe, and they ended up in this it's about this size. Their universe was about this size, and they ended up stuck in there. And the person that has to watch over them, just in case any cracks came into this gem that they're locked in, Dark Strange was going to watch them now for the rest of him, for the rest of his reality. So that's how it ends. Now, my question, Brian, how do you think, or do you think Dark Strange is going to be involved in not only Multiverse of Madness, but also Spider-Man?
I think he will be.
No Way Home.
I think he'll be in the Strange movie. I can see him definitely. I can see him maybe being at the end of the Spider-Man. Coming at the very end of the Spider-Man movie. I don't see him being involved throughout the movie. I don't see him being, you know what I mean? I can see him maybe being something at the end that leads to his movie. You know, the
There's
Doctor
a
Strange
good,
movie.
there's a good concept for a what if for those series that you've been watching. We saw in an Endgame. We did not see in any of the Captain Americas biggest plot hole that they have yet to actually suggest, but you got to see it in Endgame. Is the Red Skull?
I would like to see what happened between Captain America and Red Skull when he took back that.
You didn't even get to see him. Red
I
Skull
know.
was freaking Captain America's biggest enemy for like the longest time, and they didn't even show him in any of the.
I would like to know what happened. I would love to know what happened there.
Yeah.
I would love to know what happened there. Let me give my opinion on what I think, and then we can go there. That'll be the last thing we talk about, Jack. But my opinion is this: I think Doctor Strange is definitely going to be in Multiverse of Madness, and I believe Modor, is that his name? His friend from the first Doctor Strange movie. I think he's gonna be there. I'm not talking about the Asian fellow. I'm talking about the black guy that was hanging out with him. I think he's gonna be there. I think that Doctor Strange is definitely in Spider-Man. I think he is for this reason. I remember when dude told him don't use that spell, and yet he went ahead and used that spell. I don't think Doctor Strange would have used that spell. I think that is Darker Strange. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, possibly.
I think that the evil Doctor Strange, or no, I'm not going to say, because I don't think that Doctor Strange is evil. I think he just made some wrong choices because he loved that girl so much. So I just calling him Darker Strange. I think Darker Strange is in our reality, or in the MCU reality right now. That's what I think.
Could be, but he destroyed his own planet. So
Yeah, he did, but you remember Uatu, Babyface, needed his help, so he brought him. That's how come he brought him to make him part of the team. So now that he's part of the team, what's stopping him from going into other realities?
yeah, but he destroyed his own, and
Yeah, he destroyed his own universe. He totally obliterated his own universe. All right, let's get on this last subject because Jackon brought up a good point. We'll let Jackon go first as far as that plot hole and what you think should happen or what you think another what if should be. So Jackon, please take it away.
What's there to say? It's the biggest hole I've seen since watching all the Captain America movies and seeing the Avengers movies. And then in the Infinity Wars, we get to see Red Skull for the first time ever.
he was in the first Captain America movie.
No, he wasn't.
No, the first Captain America movie, that was all about Red Skull.
The first Avenger.
No. The first Captain America movie was Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah.
That's where the Red Skull. That's the movie the Red Skull was in, where
No,
Bucky supposedly
he was not
died.
in there.
He wasn't.
Yeah, he was in it.
He was.
He was in
I
it.
can watch it again.
You gotta watch
He
that one
had
again. He was totally in that one.
He had the Tesseract.
Yeah, exactly. He's the one that had the Tesseract. The Tesseract.
Tesseract.
The Iron Man stone.
And then he wasn't in Captain America: Winter Soldier. That was the second one. And then he wasn't in Civil War. That was the third Captain America film. But okay, Brian, what about you? What do you think about that plot that Jackon was talking about? Would you like to? What would be your impression of what happened between Red Skull and Captain America when he returns the stone?
Sorry, I think it's a big missing plot twist. Right, we know he's on that planet doing some sort of penance. He, like how does he get away from there? That's what I want to know. How does he get off that planet for this universe? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, where he's doing that there, everyone who comes to the planet, you know, the name, because he just wasn't in Infinity War, he was also in Endgame as well. Remember at the end, at the end of the first Avenger, he was he was transported.
He was transported through the Tesseract to Vormir.
To Vilmer, so like I don't know how he escapes from there. Does somebody take over? You know what I mean?
The reason why I would like to see what happened, I'd like to know what kind of conversation happened between Red Skull and Captain America, because, you know, here, if you guys didn't know, at the when Endgame was playing and Natasha went over there, and Natasha gave herself or sacrificed herself for the stone. Just so you guys know, when Clint Barton received that stone, Red Skull is allowed to leave Boromir at that time. He is allowed. He's no longer bound to there because the Soul Stone's not there. All right. So that being said, he was allowed to leave. But since Captain America is bringing back the stone, I'm thinking that Red Skull was planning to start leaving this planet, trying to figure out a way to get off that planet, and now he's stuck there again because Captain America returned the stone. I wonder if there was some sort of fight, like, no, I don't want this. You remember, both of them are super soldiers, so I'm thinking that would have been a good fight, and then it still ends up that Captain America wins because Captain America got old, had his life, and got with Peggy Carter, this, that, and the other. So that's my impression. I think they had a fight. Red Skull lost again and got stuck there another time, and they need to do that, as Jackon said, as a what if. What do you think?
I'd love to see that. I'd just love to see that interaction between them both.
What do you think, Jackon? Does that sound right?
It would be a good possibility for a what if. I mean, they didn't do any Red Skull justice at all.
They didn't, actually. So none. Sorry,
I had a friend of mine that said he tried to enter. All right, guys, on that note, I have to close out today's stream. I want to thank Brian Hawkins, Dracon. I want to thank Jimmy earlier for hanging out, even E Prime, his trolling ants. And I want to thank most of all my lovely wife who sat here with me the whole time.
Antagonized you about Iron Man?
That's all she does is antagonize me about Iron Man. She hates Iron Man, and she's like always giving me shit about Iron Man. I'm not in love with Iron Man.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
If you could star in Brokeback Mountain with Iron Man, you could.
Oh my god!
Be in the tent the entire movie. Right.
I'm done.
Where's your cowboy hat?
I'm done. Where's my cowboy hat? Oh my fucking god!
And you just be wearing the fedora. That's all right.
No, I'm done. You know what? Don't even talk to me tonight. That's it.
I'll just walk to Walgreens. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate the time that you guys put in. Again, me and Brian are gonna go over to Jay Cotto's Boxing Jedi. We're gonna go and do Elbows of the 80s. Brian, I'll see you over there, brother. Jack,
No worries.
Jack, I hope to see you here next week. Next week is just gonna be random chat. We'll probably be talking about boxing next week because I want to hear everyone's opinion about what happened this weekend. Just out of curiosity, Jack, on who you going for, Wilder or Fury?
Huh?
Who you going for this weekend as far as boxing, Wilder or Fury?
I don't know who they are.
Oh, okay, you're not into boxing. Okay.
No, it's not that. It's just I'm more into the back in the day people.
Yeah, I know a lot of us are. I was too, and I just now started getting into it. All right, Brian, I'll see you over there, buddy. If
Yeah.
I'm a little late, it's because I'm going to go to the drugstore real quick, and I'll be back as quick as possible.
No worries about forget. Have a good one again.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace. Have a good one, guys.